Hi, this is Lottie from ChaoticHighFemme, and I wanted to give my review on Moonrise LARP games, Albion School of Sorcery. I was actually invited to come to Albion. I was really excited to kind of jump into this world. Of course, which millennial doesn't want to go to wizard school? Am I right? Anyway, I've played quite a few LARPs. I've only been doing this for under a year at this point. Out of all the LARPs I've been to, this was probably my favorite. While I've had games where I've had more crazy emotional things happen to me, this one felt very well-rounded. My story was like, there was a lot going on, and like when I made my final choice at the end, it felt very real. And it felt like I'd been working up to this moment the entire time. Moonrise LARP Games is a theatrically based LARP group. The NPCs are real actors. They have a 6-week rehearsal process. They are usually doing things with live steel and more of their fantasy games. There's stage combat. There's intense story arcs. They have all of these different endings planned. A lot of the people are familiar with witchcraft. Some of them are practicing witches, and they're well researched and respectful, which is really great. There is a local witchcraft store right around me, and I know that they actually source a bunch of their ingredients from there, which is really cool because it's also supporting a local business. There wasn't any like real combat in this game because it is a wizard game. We were all given a wand, one of a kind, made by Bryce at Fields Wood and Steel. I've actually had him make a few other things for me in the past, and I highly recommend his work. I'll link it down below. My wand is gorgeous, and once you learn a little bit about Delphine, she comes from a family where it's rumored that they have unicorn blood, and I think that her wand looks like it has kind of a unicorn horn motif going on. We were offered 2, they were wrapped up, and you picked the one that spoke to you. I went with this one because it was bigger. We got our own major arcana deck that are like really fun illustrations. Definitely like really cool. Another thing that we got on the first night are gorgeously made cloaks. They're all our house colors. I am House Solum. I wanted to show you my shirt. This is designed by Sweet Camie Jean. I'll link her too, but I definitely wanted to wait to record this so that I could show you this cool shirt that I got. The houses were based on the 4 elements: earth, wind, fire, and air. And I was earth, which is not a choice I would have made for me, but it was such a fun choice to do. And I really vibed with my house. So I'm glad that I made that choice. I'm glad that I kind of stepped out of my comfort zone. Speaking of other things that we got during the weekend, we got to take a bunch of really fantastic classes. History of Magic, which was like more of a, it was a really good way to kind of cement us all together, get us situated in the world, because there are 2 worlds within this story. There's people born in the mortal plane, which is like where we're at right now. And there's also people that are born in the mystic realm, like my character, who is one of the noble families of the mystic realm in the human side, but humans are less likely to be sorcerers. We had a lyrical lit class, which was kind of like using music and poetry to make spells, and it was really well thought out. Incantation composition, which was a really cool class about more specific spells, enchantments, and stuff like that. We had Terramancy with Professor Emerald Moonchild, who is a unicorn that lost her horn, and she's unable to return to her unicorn form. I could probably go on about the classes forever. I even really like dueling, which I thought I wasn't gonna like it, because especially since it's called dueling for physical fitness, I was like, listen, I ain't taken a gym class since the 6th grade. Not about to do it now, not with a wand. I hate to break it to you, friend. The mechanic of it was kind of like playing a game of rock, paper, scissors, but with like more I had a blast learning how to do that. We got to make perfumes and body scrubs and like potions in our potions class. Magical botanicals. You got to make like a nib, which was like a creature that like houses a little succulent on top of his head. So there was a lot of things to take away from it. And that's where the price kind of comes in. There's a lot of stuff going into a blockbuster LARP, which is kind of what Moonrise specializes in. I like to think of it as that you're putting yourself into a movie, and you're a character in a movie. Your entire plot line has been talked about with the other NPCs. There are interactions that you're gonna have. There's plot things hidden that you're gonna find throughout the weekend that are gonna affect your character. Blockbusters tend to be more expensive because you're generally renting out a place, you're generally paying for food, you're paying for amazing accessories sometimes, like in this game. The venue that we had this game at. It's called Dekoven Center. It's in Racine, Wisconsin. They have incredible food. They had like cheese curd trays, which I'm like, oh yeah. They had cheese curd trays, fruit, and toast laying out with like unlimited coffee and tea. And then there's a fridge, which I usually store all of my Red Bulls in. The people who work at Dekoven are incredible. They dress up in costumes sometimes. The lady that was working there, she had like a cape on and she had like a professor thing because she wanted to be part of the thing. And they're just really incredible. All of our food was kind of in theme too. I felt really bad for my roommate because I snore. So for Albion 2, there's an option to get a single room, which I am going to definitely pay for. She is a friend of mine, so I wasn't upset and we didn't have a fight or anything. It was just more like I felt really bad because I snore a lot. On night 1, one of the players, Callie, who played Imogene, one of the House Undis, gave me this in character. Let me show you the entire thing. It's so pretty. I was like super taken aback because this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever received. It helped me love her even more because she is a character that, again, is very different than things I normally play. I tend to go towards more chaotic, more evil, because I like to kind of be an antagonist. This was a character that was very much well-intentioned. She made herself the center of attention a lot, and she was also pretty conceited, but she also had a really good heart, and she wanted to stand up for what she believed was right. You get to kind of self-check when you're playing a character that's kind of close to you, but has like some very different qualities because it makes you see things from the outside. She wasn't a character that I was like dying to play. I didn't have like this need to be like this popular girl. It was more like little bits came up and I kind of formed her around that so I could have somebody. Luckily, Tiffany, the lady listener who's in charge of all of it, will message you. She will help you develop a character. My only thing that I had when I was going in was like, I really want to have purple eyes and like white blonde hair. But I read in the player's guide that that was a family. I'm like, oh, I guess I can't do that. What should I do? And she's like, well, you could just be in the family. And I'm like, you're right. It's good to know what your limits are, especially with a 4-day game, which is the longest that I've ever like played a character for that long. Like I hit my limit of being Delphine, who I made to be this very popular, but very like caring character, which is a lot of energy. Moonrise LARP games in general is really great about checking in with people. If you're feeling good about some RP, thumbs up, it's like right here or down. And these two, the like and the they mean let's end it. Let's just end it. All in all, I completely recommend this experience. I had so much fun. My house was incredible. The interactions we had were incredible. There was so much story happening. There was an incredible amount of story. There were so many cool things that were just enveloped around us that even people who were kind of standing off at the side toward the beginning, because we did have a lot of first-time LARPers, you could really see them by the end kind of coming into their own and seeing like how much power they had in this situation. And it was absolutely thrilling. It was one of my favorite things as a LARPer is seeing newer people or people that are a little bit more reserved really get into it and really like find those moments, because I think it's just beautiful. This is my channel. I'm gonna be doing all kinds of cool stuff. I'm gonna be bringing in LARP creators to interview them, talk with them. I'm gonna be bringing in burlesque people, makeup people to talk about what they do. I want this to be a channel where you can find something that you didn't know you liked, which is how I kind of feel about LARPing, where I didn't really know if I was gonna get into it or not. But once I played a game and once I was surrounded by all these people with this like wonderful, welcoming energy, I knew that I was super in. I am releasing in-character vlogs that I've made of my character Delphine Montclair. And I'm hoping that that kind of gets most of the story across. Of course, she's pretty self-centered. There's also a ton of really great content creators that came to this game. So we're all gonna have different videos and different content that we've produced, and I recommend that you check them all out. Darker LARPer, Dan is great. Breeedo, amazing. Shani D, Aubrey, I cannot remember her. She has a really cool Instagram. She's a powerlifter cosplayer. This was her first LARP. It was so cool. I definitely hope that you watch all of my vlogs. I'm very, very proud of them. You can follow me on Twitter. It's ChaoticHighFemme. Follow me on Instagram. It's Lottie West. Thank you so much for sitting through this. I hope that if you do have any questions, you will not hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I hope to see you at Albion 2021. Thank you so much. Live long and prosper. Love. Bye. Let's end it. Let's just end it.